you brought me, yes, you brought me from a mighty long way.
I thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Jesus.
I thank you, Lord. You brought me from a mighty long way. Mighty long way.
You've been my
mother, father too.
You've been my sister,
my brother. Take you, Lord. You brought me from a mighty long way. Mighty long way.
You've been my
Yes,
sister and
you've been my all and all.
I thank you, Jesus.
My mother, I thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord. You know you brought me, yes, you brought me from a mighty long way.
Been my keeper
day by day.
Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord. You brought me, yes, you brought me from a mighty long way. My mother, I thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord. You know you brought me, yes, you brought me from a mighty long way.
Been my keeper
day by day.
Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord. You brought me, yes, you brought me from a mighty long way. Thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord. Brought me
from a mighty long
Greetings, Grand Fam. I am Faith G. Daniels, a senior mass communications major with a concentration in sports journalism, as well as a minor in business management, hailing all the way from the city too busy to hate, Atlanta, Georgia. And I serve as the 68th Miss Grambling State University for the 2021-2022 academic school year. And I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Senator Katrina R. Jackson. Ask anyone who knew Katrina R. Jackson at age 3. They could tell you one thing. She was going to be a lawyer and fight for the people. And that is just what she does as both as an attorney and a senator representing parts of Ouachita, Morehouse, Richland, Kennesaw, Madison, East Carroll, and Corsita parishes in the Louisiana legislature. Katrina was born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana, and is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Welton and Patricia Holman, and Mr. and Mrs. Walter and Linda Jackson. As a young child, her parents' friends would comment on her inquisitive mind, and her friends loved that she always got in trouble. Katrina always would stick up for them, even if it landed her in hot water as well. Her mother always told her that she should always fight for what she believed in, even when others disagreed, because the fight was worth it. It sticks with her today. Katrina graduated from the University of Louisiana at Monroe, where she majored in pre-law and legal studies. Her commitment to an aspiring career in legal professions led to receive her Juris Doctorate from Southern University in Baton Rouge in 2004. She is a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, following in the footsteps of her grandmother, the late Alice Marie Jackson. Whether it's protecting working and middle-class families from tax increases that unfairly burden them to fighting for women to receive equal pay for equal work, there's no better friend and advocate in the Capitol than Katrina. She helped protect our state's agricultural interests, funded roads and bridges back home, ensured that student athletes have access to defibrillators in their schools, and protected the uninsured access to quality, affordable health care. But children have a special place in her heart, and she is passionate and outspoken protector of the unborn's right to life and funding for K-12 education in the state legislature. At home, you can find Katrina worshiping her family at Riverside Missionary Baptist Church, fighting for clients in civil and criminal law cases and spending time educating, working with, and listening to her consultants at church, senior centers, and community venues. Katrina's attributes her accomplishments to not just having a dream, but having a dream that lines up with God's purpose for her life. She believes her footsteps are ordered by God and every day works to allow God to guide her in the process of realizing her dreams. Without further ado, we'll have our Women's History Month keynote speaker, Senator Katrina R. Jackson.
President Gallo, I am on your campus. I affectionately call him Rick. I've staffed for the Black Caucus when he was there, and we have worked together. If I can, before I speak, take a liberty. Who is from my district in this audience who's attending Grambling? Anyone? Washita, Morehouse, Richland, Tensall, Concordia, East Carroll? Anyone? Can you stand up? I want to know who you are. So listen, I bring you great news from District 34. What's your name? Thomas. Okay. I have a Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Scholarship that we give out every year. And so because you came to see your senator, I'm going to bestow that upon you for $500. You never know what you're going to miss, but I was looking for someone in my district, and God just laid on my heart that today was the day to award that. And so you will reach out to my office or give me your number before you leave, and that will be awarded before you leave in May, and that's $500 to enjoy your summer. I love when my people come. So, President Gallo, platform guest, faculty and staff, the Grambling State University Nation all across this world, and our beloved students who are currently matriculating through this prestigious and historic university, good morning. It gives me great honor to stand on the grounds of the GSU, where everyone is somebody. And if I can graciously add, where every woman is empowered to be who she is meant to be. Your leadership ensures that. I know President Gallo personally, and he has always encouraged women to go higher. I am even more honored today to stand before you and celebrate Women's History Month. It is so important for us to take the time to reflect on the plight of women and to recognize the magnificence of our gender. So I thank the administration of Grambling State University for acknowledging this very special time of the year and for inviting me to share it with you. You know, once upon a time as women, we were very rarely admitted to attend college. We were destined to be homemakers, charged with birthing children, raising them, and relying on our husbands to take care of us. Now listen, ladies, your husband should always take care of you, but at least we don't have to fully rely on it now. Rick knows I believe in that. Now, well, today, women not only attend college, but we succeed, and we obtain master's and doctorate degrees, and we even lead Fortune 500 companies. We as women must recognize that we didn't arrive here solely based on luck or on our own merit. Although our merit should be enough, yes, it's true, we earned our place here, but so many women before us fought to prove to others that we deserved a seat at the table. And not only did we deserve a seat at the table, we deserved a more prosperous life filled with endless possibilities. Women's History Month is a celebration and a reminder to you and I that we are truly meant to go higher. In reflecting on what I would say to you today, I looked and took a walk, well, a virtual walk down memory lane. In reflecting, what I noticed is that in every century, every decade, every year, every month, even in every day, I saw a woman going higher than the woman before her, with the same ambition and the same hard work that I now know is that each woman tilled the soil and made it a little bit more fertile, a little bit more fruit-bearing for the woman that was behind her. Now, it is true, that we all have to plant our own seeds, and we all have to bring something to the table to nurture that seed, to see the growth called success manifest in our lives. But the soil is richer, finer, than the soil before us, because a woman has tilled it. I can say and submit to you with a certainty today that every woman sitting here is meant to go higher than the woman before them in the past. We are who we are because a woman helped us, and because we had the tenacity, the gumption, and some may say the unmitigated gall to think larger than the box that many try to place us in. We are deeper thinkers, greater movers, greater shakers, and we are quick on our feet because we are simply made to be. But it is for the betterment of our gender, our families, workplaces, and this country that we call home. Rosa Parks once stated in the sweltering heat of Alabama, "I would like to be remembered as a person who wanted to be free, so many others could be free as well." Ms. Parks stayed seated on a bus in the midst of a segregated nation that saw her and all blacks as less than, knowing that it could mean her life. She simply was tired of being mistreated and said, "Enough is enough." Her actions sparked waves of protest around the nation. Her mere seating changed the course of this country's history. She tilled the soil and infested with racism and hatred so that we could stand free in this nation. Dr. Maya Angelou taught us that our past does not define us, nor does it dictate what we really can achieve. Dr. Angelou grew up in difficulty that would have made most of us quit. As a black woman in Stamps, Arkansas, she experienced prejudice and discrimination, and at the tender age of 7 years old, her mother's boyfriend assaulted her. During that time, her uncles took revenge and killed him. For most of us, we wouldn't have made it. She was so traumatized that she became an actual mute, not using her voice for years. But oh, when Maya Angelou decided to speak again, when she opened her mouth, she began to speak eloquently and powerfully, that she is now known far and wide as one of the best poets of all times, performing throughout the years on various stages, yes, even to those who held the highest office in the nation. She made literary history when she published her first nonfiction bestseller by an African-American woman, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Dr. Angelou stated, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Her words and her triumph make all of us who read them feel like we can do anything as women. Dr. Angelou wrote that we as women could feel phenomenal, despite the hardships she knew we would face. She literally wrote, "Now you understand why my head is not bowed. I don't shout or jump about. I have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, I don't shout or jump about. I have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud." She wrote that so that we would know the beauty in the span of our hips. She wrote so we would know the beauty of the fullness of our lips. She wrote so that abused girls and women could be released from their pain. She tilled the soil with her words so that you and I could go higher. As I look back on who we now celebrate as the first female vice president of the United States, Dr. Kamala Harris, I can now raise my hand to my heart to one nation under God prouder than I ever have before, because we are witnessing her break the glass ceiling in the second highest office in this nation. However, if you take your own walk down memory lane, you will find Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. Now, not only was a congresswoman the first black woman to be elected to Congress, she was also the first woman and African American to run on one of the two major party tickets for the United States presidency. She ran on the slogan, "Unbought and Unbossed." Her slogan meant that she couldn't be bought, and she wasn't going to sell out her people, her race, nor her gender. Simply put, Congressman Chisholm refused to be bought out so that Vice President Harris could be brought in. Then, if you take another walk down memory lane, you're going to see Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, and we all know her story, was a woman who dared to run for president in modern times, and even today, where we've never held the office of presidency. She dared to run. Hillary Clinton ran echoing, "This is my fight song," "Take back my life" song, "Prove I'm all right" song, and "I don't really care if anyone else believes, because I still have some fight left in me." She ran off of that because she knew when Vice President Harris would come, when the next woman would come and run for president, she was going to face some of the same tough times. But she wanted to ensure that women were strong enough not to quit. Each of these three women ran for president, and although not successful in achieving that goal, each went higher than the woman before her, and someone, maybe even in this audience today, is the woman who is meant to go higher, the woman who is meant to raise her hand and be sworn in as the first female president of these United States of America. And now we stand together with Vice President Harris, knowing that America is a better place because women are being placed in higher positions. These women have tilled the soil of politics, so political chambers are unlocked for every one of us, and so that you can go higher even to the highest office in this nation. And please do not believe that in 2022, there is no more ground to cover, no more greater heights to reach. You and I stand to witness another amazing achievement for our gender and our race. We stand at the precise time of the confirmation of the first African-American woman to the United States Supreme Court, Judge Brown Jackson. With Judge Jackson's potential ascension to the highest court in this land, women take yet another seat at the table. In the highest court in our land, women take this seat knowing that it has long time been denied to us, but long time deserved by us. And as a young woman from Miami, Florida, who is feeling homesick and questioning whether she deserved to be and stand at the Harvard University, I say to you the very thing that was said to her and that kept her from packing her bags and go home: persevere. Do not be denied or turned away from what you believe is yours to achieve. Judge Jackson has tilled the soil and is tilling the soil, breaking ground barriers in our judicial system so that we can go higher as we're meant to be. If you are still not yet persuaded that you are meant to go higher, grab my hand and walk with me. Walk down to a not-so-distant past, in no particular order, but all important in their own rights. Remember Coretta Scott King, who had suffered the loss of her beloved husband to birth the movement that brought us into a land we call freedom. On this walk, let's stop by and see Ethel Hedgeman, who was then a college student at Howard University, in a then male-dominated world, who understood the need for like-minded women to come together and encourage each other while tilling the soil of volunteerism to ensure that for generations to come, my beloved Kappa Alpha, and other sororities, particularly our three other historically black sororities, could offer young women a place of sisterhood in a world that tried to deny them. Dipping back in time, we see Queen Elizabeth, who said, "Though the sex for which I belong is considered weak, you will nevertheless find me a rock that bends to no wind." Queen Elizabeth is considered one of the most powerful monarchs of all time. She's a woman who was considered weak, who proved her strength by leading. And then there's Anne Frank, who said how wonderful it is nobody need wait a single moment starting to improve the world. As a young girl, her and her family were locked in an annex, hidden from a ruler who spewed hatred every day. She didn't survive it, but during her time in hiding, she wrote the Diary of Anne Frank, which was later published and widely read. Through her right at a certain age to begin tilling the soil to dig up and uproot inhumanity. Lest we forget our very own Harriet Tubman, conductor of the Underground Railroad, who after she made her way to freedom from slavery is estimated to have gone back and saved over 300 slaves. Making the dangerous journey by herself, she stated, "I have heard their groans and sighs and seen their tears. I would give up every drop of my blood in my veins to free them." She demonstrated that there is a love contained in a woman that drives us to risk our own success to bring others to the table and to see them freely live their very best lives. And how about a round of applause for Oprah Winfrey? We all know her. We all know her story, one of the best talk show hosts of all times, and a woman who's developed her own network, own magazine, O Magazine, and production company, Harpo Studios. Once the world's only black billionaire, that's billionaire with a B. She was ranked one of the most influential women in the world. I could go on and on, but for time's sake, let's say it simply. She believed that we as businesswomen could do anything and achieve so much. She's tilled the soil of journalism and entrepreneurship and helped the world recognize the importance of women in the industry. Former First Lady Michelle Obama famously taught us that when they go low, we go high. As a young woman from the south side of Chicago, she taught us to hold our heads up even when we were intimidated by others. She reminded us that everyone will not like us. She also reminded us that some will criticize you. They will criticize your looks, your clothes, your speech, even though your credentials in graduating from the Grambling State University will far exceed theirs. But I implore you to ignore the criticism and keep moving toward the mark that God has called you to. My Sarah and your very own Faith Daniels, Miss Grambling State University, followed in her mother's legacy in representing GSU. Her focus on mental health is helping college students around the nation to realize it's okay not to always be okay. She has stated that mental health is the last thing that is talked about in many of our households. During these unprecedented times, the COVID-19 pandemic has definitely taken its toll on people all over the world, mentally and physically. It takes a strong woman to admit that she's not okay, and to state it while still fighting and standing and representing. Every great woman in history stands on this reality and has lived it. These are just a few examples to show you that our history is full and it is rich. We as women are stronger, more stable, because the women before us have made it just a little bit better, just a little bit easier, and left us with good and fertile ground. It is up to each of us to continue to walk out this legacy that is helping each of us and those to come to go higher. Our beautiful, strong, and respected male counterparts will never be forgotten. We thank you for every way you assisted us and whatever you gave us to get here. I particularly thank the men who have stood with us, protecting us in the Capitol, encouraging us, supporting us, like your very own president, former state representative and Senator Rick Gallo. He has been awesome, very awesome from the time I've met him. When I first came to the Capitol as a staffer, then state representative, he would walk by and affectionately say, "Pooh, you got this." You see, Pooh is my nickname, and Rick knew that because he knew me. You had to know me like Rick knew me to call me Pooh in the Capitol. But you know what? Anytime he would come around the corner and say it, I believed I had it, regardless of what was going on. That's the type of encouragement that men have stood beside us and walked by us and nudged us and told us that keeps us going. So I thank people like Rick Gallo and all of the other men who are here today that are encouraging women to be their very best selves. Ladies and gentlemen, as I take my seat, I am persuaded to tell you that you're going to go higher. You're going to sit in rooms that we were once forbidden from sitting in and that we were locked out of. Today, you are made to open those doors. and not only sit in those rooms, but occupy them and pave the way to invite others in. But if you think about it, it goes deeper than that. Life comes through the womb of a woman. And because God made us a little bit different, we are able to bear children in great pain and still love the child that brought that pain. A mother is able to love that child all of his or her life and nurture them and to bring them forth into something this world will call incredible. You are sincerely made to go places that you can only imagine right now. You are made not only to grace the halls of the Louisiana legislature as a representative and senator like me, or like many before me, but one day, one of you will grace the halls of the U.S. Senate and follow behind great women, very few of them who came before you. But when you speak, your voice will be louder, more powerful, more impactful. You will have a great seat at the table that wasn't offered to us. And I know, because you know the responsibility and obligation of that seat, that you will fight for those who are underserved. You will fight for our beloved HBCUs who have offered us more than we could imagine. You will fight for children who are hungry and homeless. You will fight for those mothers who deserve equal pay. You will fight for what matters. You will fight for an America that our ancestors could only dream of. You will go higher because history mandates that you will. You will answer the call. I look out today over so many great men and women who are going places that I could only imagine to go. And I firmly believe that you will go higher because your DNA dictates that you will. Your history is rich with the memory of women who bore children, who would be sold off in slavery, and who nurtured others' children while theirs was never seen again. But know that those children stayed alive long enough to make history, to fight for freedom, and to bring us into the today that we know. Life may not always be roses for a woman, but the history dictates to me that a determined, anointed woman would always prevail. As my mother once said, a strong woman may be made to wallow in the proverbial mud and get up smelling like roses. You young ladies are the future. You are powerful, you are smart, and your gifts and talents have no measure. You are the answer to the problem of the world. You are simply made to go higher and to go further than your eyes can see. You are made to make America's soil richer than ever before. Grab hold to the charge, responsibility, and challenge to go higher, and do not rest until you have achieved the unimaginable. Remember, there's always a woman waiting behind you, counting on you, asking you, pleading with you to do for them what we've done for you and what others have done for us. Together, we are now changing the face of this nation. We're changing the narrative of what it means to be a woman. Together, we're providing for children. We're providing for a world who once hated us. We're voting in leaders who once ignored us. We are doing more than we could ever imagine. I have great hope that moving forward, as Rick and I call you Rick, I apologize, I'm on your campus, take our seats and retire and go into sunset, that we're going to be left all the way better and in great hands because of what you've learned, because of the heart that you have, because you understand the struggle and the things that were done to get you here. I am assured by looking in your faces that when you celebrate Women's History Month some 30 or 40 years down the line, we won't be talking about the first vice president that's a woman. We won't be talking about the first woman that's the president of the United States. We won't be talking about the first black woman who's sitting on the Supreme Court. We'll be celebrating the third, the fourth, the fifth. What we know to be in us will become the norm, and we'll be talking about the world's recognition of what women have to offer. Thank you.
Good morning, Graham fam. My name is Brooke Gray, a senior double majoring in management and marketing, and I humbly serve as the president of the Alpha Theta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. It is our distinct honor and pleasure to present these tokens of appreciation to our keynote speaker for the Women's History Month convocation, as well as our Senator Katrina R. Jackson.
I was a sorrow before I was a senator. You look correct. Thank you, sweetie.
There's a great camp meeting.
There's a great camp meeting. A great camp meeting in the promised land.
Oh, walk on, children, don't you get weary. Walk on, don't you get weary. Just to walk on, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Oh, walk on, children, don't you get weary. Walk on, don't you get weary. Just to walk on, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Walk and never tire. Walk and never tire. Walk and never tire. Walk and never tire. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Oh, walk on, children, don't you get weary. Walk on, children, don't you get weary. Just to walk on, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Sing and never tire. Sing and never tire. Sing and never tire. Sing and never tire. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Oh, walk on, children, don't you get weary. Walk on, don't you get weary. Just to walk on, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Shout and never tire. Shout and never tire. Shout and never tire. Shout and never tire. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Oh, walk on, children, don't you get weary. Sing on, children, don't you get weary. Just to shout on, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
will now have remarks from our beloved President Gallo.
Well, good morning. I would again like to thank Senator Jackson for taking time to be with us here today. Of course, the Louisiana legislature is in session right now, and so the fact that she would sacrifice to be here and have to immediately leave and go to the state capitol to fight on behalf of us and all of her constituents, Senator Jackson, I greatly appreciate this immense sacrifice. And I will tell you, young ladies, that if you're looking for a role model, if you don't have someone yet who you would like to aspire to be like, she's a good one. Because having known her for a few years now, that's a good place to clap. I've always seen Senator Jackson prepared. I've always seen her being a fierce advocate for whatever issue she's been involved in. I've never seen her back down from a fight. I've never seen her lose a fight, because she's always prepared when she's when she is called upon to advocate for those issues. And one thing about her, there's no halfway. Either she's all in or not at all. And so again, having had the opportunity and the privilege, quite frankly, to call her a colleague and a friend for many years is something that I appreciate very much. And although she is not officially Graham fam, I can tell you she's down at the Capitol fighting for us all the time. And so I certainly want to thank you, Senator Jackson, for again being here and your willingness to continue to give back and to pay it forward. If you can give back and pay forward at the same time, I think you've just accomplished that. So again, thank you so much for your service, and we certainly want to wish you safe travels back to Baton Rouge, and God continue to bless you in each and every endeavor you continue. And she's not done yet. I think Senator is just kind of a midpoint. There are certainly many more things that we can look forward to seeing Senator Jackson aspire and actually accomplish in the future. So thank you again, and God bless you. Have a great day.
This concludes our program for the day. We would like to thank everybody for coming out, and we really enjoyed your presence. Thank you again. Have a great day, everybody.
You got everybody?
Is your camera wiped off?